Before we truly start, I'd like to say a few things. I wasn't exactly sure of how I was going to review these games. In fact, I was initially going to do a review of every specific night in each RNaR game, but thankfully that idea never fell through. I also didn't want to take so long to start reviewing the games, but I think it's better that I started reviewing them when I did, in 2024. If I started reviewing them earlier, well then I probably wouldn't have figured out what made these games so bad. I would also like to thank you all. As you can probably see on the screen, if you're actually watching the video, you can see all of this wonderful artwork made by the fans. I really appreciate all of this, and I really appreciate you guys, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here doing these reviews. One more thing. I'd like to apologize for being less angry. All these games are shit, and I think I've finally hit the acceptance period. These games can't get much better, and there's not much I can work with. I've gotten angry about all these flaws, and I don't have anything else to offer. Until now. These updates are supposed to make all the games I've reviewed thus far better. I'd like to see them try. Apparently, these games got updated rather recently. I'm talking 2 months ago. Though supposedly there aren't going to be any more updates after these ones, so oh well. Let's start off with the modern days. Well, I'm already more interested in this remix here, rather than the actual project. It has a rather different presentation, and honestly, these graphics, while still a little less than desired, have potential. Though the gameplay is just the shitty classic RNaR of the modern days, so sadly I gotta take points away. I wonder who made this project. Oh. Okay. Anyways, back to the point. Now, I'll actually read the story of this project before getting started, which is something I didn't do in the original review of the modern days. Story. You wake up in a strange place. Seems like a restaurant with some of your own creations. Survive until 7 a.m., and you wake up. But you return the next day. Sounds like shit, dumbass! Well, the menu looks a lot better than the original release. It only features 2 of the characters, and it shows some twitching. I guess I'll just start night 1. Why is there an owl there? Pichu does the same thing. Oh? Oh! You can drag the owl around the office. I mean, it is amusing, but you probably shouldn't be able to do that. Now, aside from some graphical changes in the office, everything looks, feels, and plays exactly the same as the original. You know, I'd expect some actual improvements for an update, but I guess it's only the small things this time around. Though, hey, you don't need to restart the project after completing a night, so that's one good thing I could say. Also, there are phone calls for nights 4 and 5, but they aren't anything special. In fact, they're taking from an older, cancelled update for the game. Why we couldn't get entirely new, original phone calls is beyond my understanding, but it's probably because the creator is a stupid hack! Other than that, there's nothing of value. No gameplay changes, so you can basically just leave the mask on the whole night. There we go. Now, also unlike the original modern days, I'll actually talk about the post-game content. First, there's the extras featuring 4 bonus characters that are exclusive to the custom night, being Peppa D, Maxina, Felix, and Lawrence. Apparently they were supposed to be unlocked when you played the custom night, but they're just given to you by default. Even though the game said that they are no longer unlocked by default. So the game's just lying about being fixed. Ain't that a bitch! The extras also show the characters' jump scares, which all suck monkey fuck. And it also has a section for removed content. None of these things are noteworthy, and the game wouldn't be better if even half of them were included. Now let's see the custom night. The original modern days had an awful custom night menu, but this one shows all the characters, so it's another improvement. The AI still only goes up to 4, so that's still shitty. But the max mode actually has one positive. And that is, one of the characters actually has a different mechanic that isn't just the mask. For Maxina, you have to use the audio when she's in an aggressive stance. You'll probably never run into any issues with her attacking while a masked character is attacking, because they take a while to kill you. Why Maxina was tucked away in the custom night is beyond my understanding, because not only is she literally mentioned in the story of the original Modern Days, she's right there on the desk! So why not make her an active character? It makes no sense! It makes no sense! And that's it. As I said before, there's nothing of value, so don't play it. Here's my final review. I'm not reading it for you. You do it! Well, that was overall just a shitty, painfully worthless experience. But we're just getting started. Let's just get this over with. Story. An unnamed company has opened a new restaurant. Wallace's. You took the night shift, but little do you know, the animatronics move around at night and are out for vengeance. As I said before, sounds like shit, dumbass! Apparently the update adds in phone calls, which were supposed to be in the original launch, but the creator forgot to include them.
Hello? Hello? Oh, good. You're here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you so—
What the hell was that?! Other than that, the menu theme and ambience have both been changed. Though the character sound design sure didn't change. Also, you can't get that God mode glitch that you could in the original, so that sucks. And last thing to note is that Phantom Candy actually works, but he can't even kill you in the first place, so it's not even worth mentioning him. Other than those things, there's nothing. No gameplay changes? None of it. Why even give a game an update, but not improve the gameplay? You play a game for the gameplay, and so what's the point in updating a game when you don't update the game? As I said, let's just get it over with. Once again, the cheese is gonna rumble tonight. There we go. All done. Well, actually, apparently this game, as well as a few of the other games, has a new night exclusive to the update. To access it, you just need to do a custom night with no one active. After a while, Bizou from RNaR the Future of Randomness shows up for whatever reason, and very slowly makes her way to the office. Once she reaches it, the screen goes dark. You need to wake up. Restart the project. Okay. So you restart it, and then you get this. What the fuck? Night. Wow. Oh, wow. So, the secret night only has one active enemy. It teleports around randomly, and once it enters, you use the flash electricity, which you then need to charge up on the cameras so you can use it again. I mean, I guess it could have potential, but it's really basic and boring. What happened? Did the game glitch? For fuck's sake. Always make sure your fucking shit works before you release it. So what really happens after the night ends is... I've only just begun. No one will escape my wrath. Let's find a new place to invest. Okay. Well, just like Modern Days, this update was a whole bunch of nothing, and it's not worth checking out. Here's my final review. Now on to the next game. This game looks like a fucking red velvet cookie! Story. After Wallace is burnt down, several of the animatronics were found and brought to a factory. You took the night shift since you were the first night guard at Wallace's. Shitty exposition. You know who else was the first night guard at Wallace's? My mom! So, of course, the extras is unlocked at the start of the game like before, but this time, The Night 5 characters are hidden. They're not even in the main menu anymore because the update also changed the menu. Of course, the thumbnail has the old menu, but it's at least a step towards the right direction. As for the gameplay, you know the answer. Also, the game still lies about starting at 12 AM, and the notes are mixed up, because they're talking about the Randomness Hotel, which is the setting of the old mode. Oh yeah, the old office option is now old mode, and it changes a few more things, but it's still pointless. Also, I don't know why, but the way everyone moves just feels off. At least you could just do this. As for the bonus nights, wow. Okay, I guess there is no custom night. Well, actually there is, but the numbers don't show up correctly. And night 7? I think I'll pass. Sorry, folks. No unintentionally beating the game here. Overall, it's just the same as the first two games. These aren't updates. They change minor things but avoid the main problem, so why even bother? Of course I bother, and technically they should be played instead of the original releases. But there's no reason to play either these updates or the original games. Again, no one else will complain, and I want people to stay away from these shitload of games, because no one should have the misfortune of playing them. There's the final review. Now for the underground storage. Now, I believe I was a tiny bit harsh on the original underground storage. You actually need to do shit in the game, and once you get into the flow, it's at least better than the gameplay of the other games. Story. You are exploring an abandoned house, and you find a secret basement, and it leads to a massive storage that looks like it's for pizzeria. Several animatronics seem to be stored here, as well as some other things. Either way, they don't want you alive. Okay. So it appears that Max got a redesign, and now she's no longer fully green. The gameplay is still the same. Since you actually do shit in later nights, as I just said, it's slightly less terrible. It appears that the stupid minigame didn't get updated, so, oh well. Wait, I beat Night 5. Why can't I access Night 6? Fucking hell, man. And while we're on the subject, Night 6 didn't even get updated, so it's still boring! Ain't that a bitch? These updates are all bullshit! One thing I didn't point out in the original is that Photonegative Mickey is an Easter egg character in the game, though I never got him to show up. Apparently he's really annoying to deal with in the original, but in here he only appears once per night and fucks off entirely after Night 5. Why he's here in the first place is beyond my understanding, but so are plenty of other things in the series, so I'll just shut up. Another thing I didn't mention is that the secret night is really easy to cheese. Just open your cameras, seal the door that Shadow Bart goes to, and that's it. If you close your cameras, then Shadow Bear will be able to attack, and if you have the door open, then Shadow Bart will be able to attack. A simple fix would be to have a Nerpo reskin, or at least a Saber or Chuck reskin, but no. Oh yeah, there's apparently another thing after this night. I wonder what it'll be. Hello there, player. I hope you don't mind if I pop in for just a minute. I just have a question to ask. What is it? Do you ever wonder if these games are real? Obviously not. Why would anyone think that? Do they tell an actual story, or are they just for fun? Well, they clearly don't tell an actual story, and I don't think anyone could have fun either working on or playing these games, so I guess it's neither. If you want the truth, then keep searching. What the hell? Anyways. Overall, the main nights are decent, better than the other games, but nothing has changed, so fuck it. Here's the final review, next game. There's still 10 nights in this game, by the way, but like before, I won't make you suffer through all of them. Story. Randomness show is going well, and there's a funhouse opening up soon. However, the animatronics will be tested, and they seem to want to attack at night. Good wording. Your story is shit, dumbass! Now, apparently there was a fix to the lights off cheat, but it got replaced, and so you could just leave the lights off the whole game! The way this replacement was supposed to be fixed was to have Bizou active on every night. But of course she still moves slow as shit, so you won't even notice! Why bother implementing a way to prevent the game from being cheesed if it doesn't actually prevent the game from being cheesed? Use your fucking head! Aside from the poor attempt to fix the cheat, it's just like the original RNaR Future of Randomness. In fact, it's just like all these other games. Painfully boring. Why even keep the 10 nights? Who was asking for that? There was a scrapped old build of the update and it only had 5 main nights. So why couldn't you just go with that? What were they thinking? I think I said before that the game had potential. Well, if it had any potential, it was lost long ago, because there is no potential here. At least nights 5 and 10 both have different ambience. Oh, and for Peppa Woo, as well as a few characters that go to the left door, you have to have the specific door closed on them. I point out Peppa because she goes to the back door, so you actually have to do something. Well, one thing. The only time the cheat actually gets fixed is in the custom night. Why are the custom nights so much more fast-paced compared to the actual nights? Ah, fuck it. Overall, this game really could have benefited from an update, but too bad all these updates were half-assed! Here's my final review. Enough said. You know, the developer really should have asked herself a question before working on these games. Should we do this? Story. You are in need of money, so you decide to take the night shift inside a small animatronic storage with old animatronics. Can you survive? I sure do wonder what the answer is. What the hell is radio? Apparently it just plays a song from The Caretaker, and there's a different song for every night. I mean, yes, I enjoy Caretaker's music, but I could just put on music myself, so fuck it. Wait. I just beat night 2. Why am I still on it? Fuck you! Fix your fucking game! I know that these games are about as eventful as taking a shit, but... It's 2 a.m! Do something! Now, the only thing that is an improvement over the original is that Oliver is no longer RNG! Now you just need to turn the lights off when he shows up. So, is the game better now that this one singular yet major flaw was patched? No! It's still boring! Since the only thing actually worth talking about was removed, there's now literally nothing to say about it. It's tedious, there's no reason to do anything, and you'd be better off jerking off to your blank wall than playing it. At least the good ending actually works. And hey, there's even credits. They use the same song as Third Generation's credits, so there's that, I guess. Overall, while the update fixed one problem the game had, it didn't do anything to make the game more enjoyable, so it's about as worthwhile as a plug-in lamp during a power outage. Here's the final review, and now, the final free games. Story. The Randomness Funhouse is finally ready to open, and Gordon Anderson is hiring you to work at the funhouse during the night. Can you survive? You've already asked this question before. Recycling lines already, eh? Kinda like me. Well, at least the main campaign works. That gives us a new problem. We actually have to play this shit-loaded fucking game. Maybe these nights would have worked better if they weren't so damn long. Well, they would still be terrible, but they would be at least easier to go through. On night 5, we now have to deal with Golden Bart. He appears every 25 seconds, and you have to do something different depending on his position in the office. But nothing tells you what you have to do when he's in a position, so just try whatever. If he's in the middle, I guess open the cameras? Nope. Don't open the cameras. Okay, what's going on here? Die! It still sucks. Enough said. One more thing. Let's see if the max mode ending got changed. Are you that desperate? Are you that desperate to find out the truth? Lucky for you, I have updated all these games for that reason. I've laid out hints throughout some of these updates. The pieces are in place, and you just need to find them. And once you do, I'll give you the entire truth. Until then, just remember that something is coming. Wow. Overall, no. There's the final review. Nothing more needs to be said. Story. It's finally coming to an end. The Randomness Museum is set up, and you take the night shift. Good luck. You'll need it. Yes, I will. Yes, I fucking will. I forgot to note that the game lies about when the night starts, just like Third Generation. Oh, and now there are tips that appear before a night starts. I mean, they are better than the notes, I guess. One thing I can say is that most of the characters are a lot more active. And by that, I mean they attack at least once per night. More characters are active alongside Slaughter during Night 6 as well, so I guess there's a tiny bit more things you need to look out for. Slaughter also gets to appear in the extras menu, which he didn't in the original, so that's something. Okay. Let's see if that thank you message got updated.
Thanks for playing RNaR the last chapter, aka the final RNaR game, and also the last RNaR
Nope.
game I will be
Still
making
sounds... You've heard this all before. How about I give you something new? Do you know why the games all got updates? Do you know why I updated smaller things instead of the larger, more notable problems that have been pointed out? Have you seen me? I'm sure you have. You may wonder what I am doing here. You may wonder why... Okay. Communicating to a scratcher such as yourself through this mundane text box. If you want the last piece of the puzzle, then you'll need to think outside the box. Remember every game I appear in. Then rearrange the numbers in chronological order that the games take place. Remember those numbers. Until then, see you soon. I think the game is on to me. Overall, the update does fix an issue, but again, it doesn't fix the major problem. It appears to be aware that it doesn't fix the major problem, so... Final review, and now on to the last game. Well, it's either now or never. Story. You were invited by your friend to help work at the Randomness Studio brought back. You worked the night shift, but there are some new friends. Or are they not new, but just old friends changed? What the fuck does that mean?! Now, since I already reviewed this game last episode, I'll just cut the shit. The menu got a little update. The phone calls still sound like shit. The cutscenes actually play when they're supposed to. Apparently some characters got fixes, but they're not obvious enough for me to care. Unlike before, the extras now have some information about all the characters. No. You don't kill the pet. That's fucking nasty, man. The unused content also has some stupid pictures. It's just like the jump scares. I mean, wow. Overall, I didn't like how I wasn't actively ridiculing the game last episode, but after playing these games so much, you tend to just mellow out. And I know I shouldn't mellow out, as I am the Angry RNaR Nerd, but these games are just so awful! The final thing this game has to offer is one more secret night. Let's play. This is it. You sit around, and if you open the cameras and then close them and see that Mario guy, you open them again. Some of the cameras don't display anything on them, but this is it. Did it ever really end? Was it really the last chapter? I've laid out everything I could. Thank you for searching. We spent all this time building up to nothing. All of these updates, all this nothing built up to just nothing! There is nothing! That's what this whole series is! It's a whole shit pile of nothing! And apparently, according to these updates, that's all it's supposed to be! Nothing! Overall, these updates are a piece of fucking garbage! They can't even qualify as updates! They change nothing! Again! Nothing! I wasted hours beating these games, and they don't even fix the basic problems that the original versions had! Maybe by the time the episode releases, all of the bugs and shit will be patched? But that doesn't matter, because nothing related to the gameplay, or presentation, or anything else will be changing. There is no reason to play these updates, and there is no reason to play the original games. I'd rather break every bone in my body. I'd rather go swimming in a pool of acid. I'd rather burn alive while trapped in a crawl space. I'd rather get gnawed on by an anglerfish. I'd rather have to walk over a floor made up of broken glass shards. I'd rather get mauled by rabid wolves and beavers. I'd rather have both my eyeballs ripped out and replaced with constantly burning light bulbs. I'd rather fall into a killer rabbit den. I'd rather superglue my asshole shut while drowning in gasoline. I'd rather do anything than play another one of these shitty fucking games! You know, after all of this random nights at randomness shit, I am so burnt out from it that I don't even want to be known as the Angry RNaR Nerd. Well, lucky me, because next episode will not be related to Random Nights at Randomness. No, instead I will be playing normal Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, suggested by you guys. I've already taken the requests, but in case I decide to do more fan games, or just games in general, I'm open for anything. Until then, thanks for watching, have a good fucking night, and do not, do NOT play these games.